Hello, Malik Currington here, Family Budget Fisherman. Thank you for tuning in to another special episode of this channel. The long-awaited review of this rod. This is the Spec Black by Field & Stream, sold by Dick's Sporting Goods. As you read in the thumbnail and in the description below, I'm going to be giving you my review. I think I've done about 36 hours worth of on-the-water fishing with this rod, and also the reel, the new Speed Spin by Lew's. This is one of their budget-friendly versions here. I'm going to do kind of a combo, so let's get started. All right, thank you for hanging on in there. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be giving you my review of this rod. This is the second iteration that I'm aware of this particular rod. This is the Field & Stream Spec Black. And it is a 24-pound Toray carbon rod. And I like the fact that even for a rod that runs, south of 70 bucks, I think this is $69 full retail, that they're using the tangle-free guides. And, the rod is pretty well balanced. There are eight guides on here, from the stripper to the runner, and then the other guides on here all the way up to the tip. And so all of this works together, I should say. When I want to say all of it works together, airplane. What I want to say is for the model. Thank you for tuning in. So this is the long-awaited review of this particular rod and of the reel itself. I've been trying as best I can to get this out to you, but I finally did it. 36 hours of on the water fishing with this particular rod. This is, just to remind you, this is the Field & Stream. And remember, Field & Stream is owned by Dick's Sporting Goods. Spec Black. This is a 24-pound Toray carbon rod. It has 7 tangle-free guides. And I'll tell you, I had a lot of fun with this rod. If I were wanting to amass an entire arsenal of budget-friendly rods, I would have at least 2 of these in my arsenal. This is the 7'1" model. It's a 7-foot even model. The spec on it is the line weight is 8 pounds to 17 pounds. The lure rating is 1/4 ounce to 5/8 ounces, and it's a medium fast action. Now, here's something that I really enjoy about this rod. I'm starting to learn that some rods are really, particularly for spinning rods. You know this on the bait cast model, for the bait cast models, because they actually make bait cast models for these reasons. But on the spinning, I can start to see how reaction baits work better for some of these spinning rods and not as well for some of the other rods. And for this one, once again, this rod wanted to throw a lot of reaction baits. Now, I actually have a finesse bait on there, but that's only because the fish that we were catching were reacting to finesse baits. This is a Guggen Squad Ned rig with a Berkeley mushroom head hook on it. And we caught a bunch of fish. I put it in my son's hand. He caught fish. I caught fish. My daughter caught fish. We caught a bunch of fish over time with this rod. Had a great time. And of course, the reel that I paired it with, this Lew's Speed Spin, this is a 6:2-to-1 gear ratio reel. It's got a lot of updates over the previous versions. And the previous version worked extremely well, but I have to say the handle, grips, and the whole bit handled well. I also am using, this is my regular braided line fins, the 215. And of course I have a fluorocarbon leader. This is a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. 100% fluorocarbon leader by Berkeley. And so this was the setup that I had been using. Now like I said, I've thrown reaction baits on it. I've thrown finesse baits on it. I've fished it at dark, fished it in the morning, fished it in the heat of the day. And I'll tell you, this rod performed quite well under the kind of strain that I would give it. There were some areas where I would say it worked better and some it didn't work so well. Lipless crankbaits, I didn't seem to get the kind of performance from a lipless crankbait that I would got, for example, out of a square bill. And I noticed the difference in that. I could do jerk baits quite well. Once again, this rod really threw and retrieved jerk baits very well. Any one of the bass jigs, whether it was a swim jig or whether it was a bladed jig, because I did throw some jackhammers on here, some Picassos, worked out quite well. So I would suggest that if you are looking for a good budget option for a reel, for a rod, and a reel for that matter, because I think the reel is only $60, and you're looking for something, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, but you want it to be durable, you want it to last, you want it to have some of the premium components on it, like these tangle-free guides, I would suggest that you move in this direction. Now, if you're in competition, that is, you're going fishing to be a part of a tournament of any level, you might want to consider something a little bit more sensitive. I've talked about other rods like the Fate V3. You might even step up to 13 Fishing on their Omen series, or Bass X, or the Dobbins Fury series. I mean, we're still staying within budget where we're higher on the budget. But this rod, if you just want to get out and have a good time, you want to have a rod that is with you, and you just want to get out there and do some fishing from time to time in ponds, lakes, streams, or rivers, this rod actually holds its own. I've been fishing it for, I guess I've owned it almost a year, but I'm telling you, you would want to have this rod in your hand if you're having a good time fishing. Here's the other side of it as well. The kind of fishing, when you put this rod in your hand, you will feel the quality in your hand. For example, now it's not the best balanced in the world. Okay, now this is about an 8-ounce reel here, so the balance is right about there. If I take this reel off, my balance will come out just a little bit more there. But as you can see there, the rod balance it's okay. You know, it's not exact, it's okay. But this is not the kind of rod that you would need to have to worry about in terms of balance when you're out fun fishing and you're buying this kind of rod. The purpose of buying this rod is if you are a beginner, if you are a novice, if you are an intermediate and you don't want to, quote, take your good stuff out, this is it right here. If this breaks, you can go and get another one. They have a lot of these in supply. They may have some that are under 7 foot. I don't know that. I know this is a 7-foot model because, as you all know by watching this channel, 7 foot is what I do. That's my rod, 7 foot to 7'8". That's my category of rods. But having said that, you would definitely be able to appreciate. I pitched well with it. I flipped well with it. Now, I would say this. If you're throwing baits bigger than a 1/2 ounce, you're also going to have to get something else. The lure rating on here is very narrow. At 1/4 on the low end, that's very narrow. Just so that you know, this is not 1/4. This is 1/8. And I caught some fish with this at a 1/8. I felt the bite at a 1/8. So I think that you could get away on the low end. I don't recommend you go above the lure rating on the high end because you may break the rod. You may make some sacrifices in the quality of the rod, going a 1/2 ounce. Going 3/4 of an ounce, or certainly a full ounce. I would not punch with this rod. but I would flip and pitch with this rod. I might do some light cover, but that's about it. So if this is a rod that you've seen when you've gone to Dick's Sporting Goods, this is a reel that you've seen when you've gone to Dick's Sporting Goods, I'm going to tell you this is a good investment after all of the time that I put on the water, that I've given to my children. And just so that you know, even look how beautiful it is. I mean, it is, in terms of its own luster, it's a good looking rod. It's a good looking reel to pair it with. So, and you may have something else that you may want to pair it with, but I wanted to give you, that's my review. I would recommend this rod if you're looking for a budget friendly, or the reel, if you're looking for something budget friendly, that you just want to get out and have a good time with. You don't want to carry all your, $300, $400, $500 combos. Get this. This is, once again, the Field & Stream Tech Spec Black. This is the newer model that they've had out for a little while now. And this is a newer model of the Lose Speed Spin, also at Dick's Sporting Goods, that you could get. Put it on your arsenal recommended list. Even look to get it on sale, because there's some times when there are discounts offered and you can take advantage of those. Once again, don't do anything to break your family's budget trying to buy this equipment, but within the law and good ethics, do everything you can to break your personal best. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Be blessed.